All right, so it looks like we have a container that is successfully fetching data from a server and spitting out in the console. Let's build a component that can display this array of this search result of all these Batman movies that we are querying through our network, right? Through our network query. All right, so let's do that. Let's create a component, maybe call it movie list. All right, so let's create a component here. We'll call it JavaScript here. It says call it movie list component. And the component, well, let's try and keep it as stateless as possible. So we'll have the perhaps a, a, a pass down the array of components of movies. And if it's not null, then we'll iterate and render that, right? So let's import first React from React. And in here, we're going to create a component. We'll call it movie list component. That is going to take in as argument, presumably, a list of movies. And hopefully it'll render here a movie list. Right? And perhaps we can start off by saying, printing out how many movies there are. Okay? And we can pass it. We can render it through here, right? We can say that under the prototype, we can now render. We probably need to put this inside of a parent div, right? And in here, we can render our new component. Call it we called it movie list component. I don't think we exported it. Let's export it. I'm going to say export movie default movie list component. And now we should be able to load it from here. So movie list component, there it is. And for now, the list of movies, it'll be some empty array for now. All right, so it's 0, right? So it's not receiving any movies for now, which is fine. We want to pass it these movies. So how can we do that? Well, one of the things that we could do is set up an initial state, right, where the list of movies might be empty. Yes. And the actual movies would be updated whenever we actually get a list of movies here back from the server. We can say that this response it contains the list of movies. I believe the structure is that the movies are contained where in this object, right, that says search. See that? So we can pass it this search which contains the array. So let's do that. Let's say let's update the state over here. We'll say we're going to return the list of movies equal to the response dot search. Right? That contains the array of objects from the server. Yes? Right? And now that it's in the state, now that it's part of the state, we can pass it down to the movie list component. We can pass it down and say that this is this.state.movies. See that? Right? We're passing it down to the movie list component. If we refresh this, it still says that it's 0. And why is it still 0? Am I passing it correctly? Movies.state.movies. This.state movies is an empty array. Return movies response.search. Is it search? It is search, right? The search should be the array. Can I print this? Let's see. Can I print that? Let's make sure that that's indeed the object. There it is. That's the array. And I'm setting up the state, and the state is being passed down. This.state.movies. This.state.movies. Oh, so here's movies, and here's movies.length is still 0. Why are you still 0? Let's see, movie list component, movies, fetch, return. Oh, I never did set the state. I should not just return. I should do what? I should do this dot set state, right? There we go. And close that. All right. That should trigger a re-rendering of the components since now I have modified the state of movies to be that array. Let's try it again. There we go. Now it's 10. See how it's 10? Right? We were able to pass down the list of movies down to the movie list container component, right? And it's actually now we know that we have 10 movies. So let's right. So maybe a little nicer to render this might be render it right here, maybe as a parentheses. There we go. There we go. That's a little better. All right. So let's focus now on rendering these movies. All right. So let's take a look at that next.